Well, hi everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee. Here we are, just coming up on 9 o'clock Eastern time on what has been a very busy, severe weather day. It seems like we've had at least 5 working tornado watch boxes up for the last 4 or 5 hours. We also have an additional severe thunderstorm watch that has been put up in the Carolina Mountains and into northeast Georgia. You can see to the side there is the Storm Prediction Center's map with risk. The enhanced area of risk remains where it has been. They haven't really changed that very much. Still extends into the western half of New Jersey with slight risk to New York City and the Hudson Valley, with a marginal risk out over Long Island and western Connecticut. And of course, the slight risk goes all the way up and down the East Coast. In the last few minutes, because this is a live look at the Storm Prediction Center's risk map with the watch boxes that are up. A few of those watches have either been eaten away or have been canceled entirely, like the one in coastal South Carolina and Georgia. There are 4 working tornado watches left, and a small portion, so actually 5. There's a small portion of a 5th box in parts of Piers. Looks like it's in westernmost West Virginia, and you have that severe thunderstorm watch that is still up. The radars are very busy. With regards to the areas from eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and going eastward, there's actually 2 areas of thunderstorms that are in play right now. The area that's in eastern Pennsylvania, I've already seen a number of severe thunderstorm warnings and even a few tornado warnings that were issued for parts of Maryland and in southeastern and south central PA. And we're going to see then the second line come into play. That is going to impact areas in eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England during the early morning hours, probably between 3 a.m. and about 8 a.m., somewhere in that time frame from west to east. So it'll be interesting to see how that holds together. I'm going to bring up a couple of different views here of what's happening on the radar. And here is the uh, latest from SPC. This is the surface map and the latest radar. The last time on this is, just want to double check that, is from right at the top of the hour. It's 5 minutes before the hour. So this radar is about 7 minutes old, and it just refreshed just at the moment. I'm going to change the sector so we can look at it further north. But this has more of the focus on that second line of storms that is now coming into western Pennsylvania and moving through West Virginia down into southwestern Virginia, western North Carolina, in that area where we have the severe thunderstorm watch. And you can, by the way, if you go to SPC's page and click on the mesoscale maps, then you can pull up the regions by clicking on them. So I'm going to go into the Northeast and we'll take a look at what's going on here specifically. So your low center, which is a pressure of about a 989 low, it's fairly deep, is sitting somewhere right along the western Pennsylvania border. You can see on this radar shot the cluster that's in southeast PA, now just about exiting northern Maryland, and then there's some lighter precip that moves into New Jersey. There's a bit of a marine layer that exists to the east. You'll notice that the wind barbs here are all southerly, just east of New Jersey. So that has brought in a marine layer over Long Island and parts of southern New England. Now that marine layer is probably going to get thinned out during the overnight as that second line approaches, and the warm front with this pushes a bit further north and get the winds to bend a little bit more to the southwest. So I think that's why SPC has got their risk area as far east as they do. Embedded in that second area, there's a fairly solid line of storms right at the head of it. We're just getting the fresh radar refresh here. But you can see the line running from western New York into western PA, down into West Virginia. And then you've got this cluster of downpours and some embedded thunderstorms in there. This looks like it might have gone maybe just past its peak in terms of the intensity that we saw a little while ago. Here's the surface map as of 21Z. The surface map that's on this one is the most recent one. Okay, so this is almost real time here. You see where it has the low center plotted now is actually inside western Pennsylvania. Winds west of there have all gone to the northwest, and they're getting the drier air. It's also rather windy on the west side with west winds of 20 to 25 miles an hour with some higher gusts. So once the front goes by, you're going to have the winds really get strong and gusty on the west side of this low as it moves on up into upstate New York and eventually moving up into eastern Canada. But back to the surface map, we can at least get a good feel here for how juiced the air is. We've got temperatures in the 60s and low 70s as of 5 p.m. Dew points up in the mid 60s. So you've got some pretty juicy dew points going all the way up into northern Pennsylvania. You start to move toward the coast, and here's your marine layer with temperatures in the 50s to near 60 across Connecticut and Long Island, and even some upper 40s with the wind more to the southeast. So that marine layer is always going to be an issue, and the marine air is cool and stable. Thunderstorms like warm, unstable atmospheres, and when these storms run into this stable marine layer, they just tend to fall apart and weaken. That cool marine air gets involved, and they start to disintegrate. And I've seen severe thunderstorms just literally fall apart within a matter of about 15 or 20 minutes once they hit inside that marine layer. So the key for the coastal areas will be getting that marine layer out of the way. Further south, down in Virginia, North Carolina, we see these temperatures upper 70s, dew points in the upper 60s. This is a really, very much a tropical air mass moving northward. Dew points down in coastal South Carolina in the low 70s, down into coastal Georgia and just offshore, of course. So definitely you're getting this strong inflow of tropical juice coming up the East Coast. Here's the wide view of the radar. And they look at that line in western PA. There's some really strong cells in here in southwestern New York and moving into western PA. And of course, you also could see that clustered area in southeast PA. Some of the cells from earlier, those little red dots, those were severe thunderstorms, and some of them did produce tornadoes. But again, that looks like it's past its peak. We do have rain up through upstate New York, north of the warm front, and on up into Maine for a change. And then down further south, we have some strong thunderstorms now moving ashore in Florida, just north and west of Tampa, St. Pete. There's a line that's just getting ready to move inland there, and that is going to gradually push on to the east. The southern part of this will just play through and gradually weaken as we go through the overnight. So I'm not really expecting too much in the way of severe weather down in Florida. You've got some strong cells in northeast Georgia and also as you head up into western North Carolina and on up into Virginia. So let's take a look at, I'm going to use the NAM3. I think this is probably the best view of this, and we'll go really close up first on the northeast. We'll let the NAM3 load up, and we'll see what adventures it takes us on tonight. If this were standard time, we would have the new one, but we don't. But here's how the NAM sees it going through the overnight, and here it is now. So I brought it up to 9 p.m. Kind of matches up fairly well with the current radar. Here's the current radar again. I'll give it a fresh view and get a little tighter. So here's how here's how reality sees it, and here's how the NAM3 sees it. It looks like it's handling the northern end better than it is the southern end at this point, but it really holds on to this squall line during the overnight, and it just rolls it right through across Pennsylvania into western New Jersey. Now the timing of this would be, cutting the state in half. This is at midnight. Here it is at 2 a.m. Now we are at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. they reach New York City, 6 a.m. they move across Long Island. The NAM3 does hold this line together, so it does suggest that the coastal areas that are in the marine area are going to get that marine layer dislodged before these thunderstorms move through. I'm not 100% sure about whether that happens or not, because there are many instances where it looks like it's going to happen, and then at the last minute it doesn't. But the model is saying that it does, and these thunderstorms hold together and then move offshore. And of course, you'll notice during the afternoon tomorrow, we've got a fairly tight pressure gradient here with the low, a 985 low up in northern Maine. You've got higher pressures down in eastern Tennessee, 1023 high there. So there's a fairly tight pressure gradient. So we'll have some gusty winds and hopefully some improving weather conditions, even some snow in the colder air, some snow and rain mixed up in upstate New York, a little bit of lake effect going on in that region. And then, of course, weather conditions start to improve considerably as we go into tomorrow night and Tuesday. A quick look at where we're going down the road with this overall pattern, because we've got the next one coming. But this is going to take most of this week to play out. So here's what the upper air looks like, of course. So you've got this deep trough. And again, the difference from the plain storm, if you look at the upper air going back to last Thursday when we had the plains blizzard and that wrapped up upper low in Nebraska, that upper system and that trough went so far west that it really didn't have much impact. That was the front that came through on Friday. But then it's the southern part of this, the short wave that in the upper left, okay, the upper left short wave is that moved down from the Pacific Northwest, dove down into the Southwest, and then just got very vigorous here on Saturday, and then began to open up and lift to the northeast. It really did hold together quite nicely as it played across and moves its way through into the east. And you'll notice that the upper feature then begins to deepen again in eastern Canada for later Monday and Monday night as it moves to the east to Newfoundland. And then the ridge pops back up again. So here comes the next short wave. This one comes into Oregon tomorrow and drops down into the southwest. And you got the same thing all over again. You've got a really vigorous upper low here on the late afternoon run that the model carries across to the East Coast by Easter Sunday. So this is going to play out relatively slowly, and it does make the forecast for the week a bit complicated because we're going to have this frontal boundary nearby. Or if you'll notice here on Tuesday, there's actually a bit of a warm front that sets up from a low that's in West Kansas straight east to just south of southern New Jersey to about Maryland, Delaware, and northern Maryland. So north and east of there, you're probably going to have clouds and a bit of an onshore flow setting up. And notice the GFS does actually bring through a little bit of shower activity here Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Then the warm front starts to pivot and move northward. And here we go all over again with a low on Wednesday night in southern Kansas, starting to see some thunderstorms breaking out. This is rain, the total rainfall that the model is giving for the southern plains and the western Gulf states, but I can guarantee you that there's going to be thunderstorm activity there and severe weather. And then this low runs up toward Chicago, so more severe weather across the south, and it looks like that will move into the east Friday night and into Saturday morning. Very slow moving because the upper low we're going to have to wait for that upper low to move through. If it plays out this way, it's going to make for a rather miserable Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the Easter weekends, because once the front goes by, you still have the upper low to play through. So that leaves the opportunity for showers lasting through the weekend and into next week. So it's a very, very active, busy pattern. The one for next week might be the last one of this particular series because I think the upper pattern is going to adjust a little bit after that. It's not quite as vigorous as what you had. It goes to a bit more of a zonal flow You don't have these vigorous short waves coming into the west, at least for a little while. Toward the end of the forecast period, you do have something coming into the plains, but that's so far down the road. That's toward the end of the month. We'll deal with that when we get there. So I'm just going to come back here full screen, see if there's any additional surprises by SPC. Things are changing so quickly. Just going to freshen this up. And let's see. Let's refresh this. It doesn't look like anything much has changed there from the standpoint of additional watches. Nope, nothing new. There are a few severe thunderstorm warnings up in northwest, almost into north central PA and southwestern New York. There was one tornado warning in one of the counties in northwest PA, but that's done for now. We also, by the way, should mention that there are a few counties in northeastern PA and northwest New Jersey that are under a flash flood watch, and that's for the heavy rain. On top of the rain that we got Friday night and Saturday, the ground is fairly saturated. And we also have flood watches up for much of northeastern New York, Vermont, northern half of New Hampshire, and much of southwestern Maine. Under that. Wind advisories across Alabama, Georgia, the Western Carolinas, and that's really about it. We actually still even have some winter weather advisories going on in parts of northern Michigan. So going to come back to the chat board here really quick, say hi to a big hello to everybody. I see we've got a decent crowd on tonight, so you're taking the time out of Game of Thrones. Patricia Owens, having tornadoes is new to us since we recently moved to Pennsylvania near Milford. So I'm just watching the skies and praying for the best that we don't get hit too bad. It's tough to say with what's going to happen in the overnight with this line. It looks fairly fierce on the NAM 3. Tornadoes up our way, of course, are not regular events. This is not like it is in the Deep South, but the dynamics here are pretty impressive for this time of year. So I think we certainly need to pay attention. If not that, some of these thunderstorms are going to have some pretty strong gusty winds, so we should pay attention. 99 Wolves, you got 6 inches of snow out of this system in Arlington Heights. Unbelievable. Late season snowfall for you. David Fuller, any weather watches to come to the east tonight? You know what? I think there may be. We don't get severe thunderstorm watches very often during overnight periods, but I'm thinking that maybe for eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey, the area that's not in the tornado watch right now, they may do something with that later on tonight. I'm going to just check because SPC sometimes they do put out discussions where they talk about the probability of new watches going up, and they don't have, I'm not seeing anything here. Looks like they may have just issued, oh no, this is a discussion concerning the severe thunderstorm watch that they have up in parts of North Carolina and western North Carolina. I'm just going to take a quick look at this. And so they are now indicating that they're expecting damaging winds to occur through much of West Virginia with this line. But they're outside the box area at the moment. They're noticing that some of the radars are showing these thunderstorms bowing, which is a sign that they're very strong. So you might see watches getting adjusted or new ones coming out. I would not be at all surprised if we wind up seeing some watches going up with all of this. I'm just rolling back to see if I don't want to miss any of your questions. Okay, so just see. Going to get some thunder possible later tonight, Javon Perry, into tomorrow morning, and maybe another round later in the mid-afternoon. Javon, where are you located? Just kind of curious. Amy Hogan, yeah, your snow's melting very quickly with all of this. Do I think northeastern Morris? Yeah, why not, Ryan Ford? You're not. I don't think the marine layer is up by you at the moment. Just going to check some current temperatures and observations, see what's going on. I've just noticed that there are a few new tornado warnings that have just been issued down in parts of down in Georgia. Going to take a look at that in a second. All right, so I'm just looking at some of the observations here. I can see where all the marine layer, and I have dense fog, by the way, so that's a good sign. So I can see that the marine layer is in southern Westchester, but just go north and west of there up 287 and north and west, not the case. In New Jersey, east wind at 3 at Newark, it's 58, 56 dew point there with 93% humidity. But Teterboro, which is not that far, it's just a handful of miles north of Newark, is 67. So there's the line. It's probably just north and west of Newark, and then running westward, probably down the turnpike, and then it shifts down to along the New Jersey shore. Atlantic City is 61, 61 with a south wind. Millville is 66. Sussex 66. Dew Point 63. So that marine layer is just lying right along the immediate coast and areas east across Connecticut and Long Island. Now, let me just take a look at what's going on down in Georgia at the moment and South Carolina. So we do have, actually, there is a working tornado warning at the moment, and that's inside that severe thunderstorm watch box. So this is for central Anderson County. So they just mentioned, this was as of 9/16, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 10 miles southwest of Anderson. So I guess it seems like it's preemptive on their part. It doesn't say on the warning that an actual tornado has been sighted on the radar or has touched down. So crazy night out there. For sure. And so far, the fatalities, as I saw on Google, I don't know what the time on one of the news was, eight fatalities across the South. I don't have a number in terms of how many tornadoes have been reported today for Friday night and Saturday. I believe there were 24. So we'll get an updated number tomorrow. William Huber, see you think the line of storm is going to make it here? I think that the marine layer could get dislodged if it was all the way up in the Hudson Valley and up into northwest New Jersey. I would then say no. But being that it's right along the immediate coast, it could get pushed out. So we're just going to have to pay attention and watch the observations and watch what happens as this thing as these thunderstorms get near the coast, that we could see that marine layer get pushed out of here. Joseph Mayano, huge temperature differences from north to south in New York State. The front must be south of Buffalo, down the Mohawk Valley to just south of Albany. The OBS, at least as of 21Z, so this was as of 5 o'clock 4 hours ago. Let me see if there's a new map. It may not be in yet. No, but at that time, it was in the 40s across much of upstate New York. And yeah, you're right. The warm front lies just north of it's probably pushed further north now, but as of 5 o'clock, it was running right along the Pennsylvania-New York State border, just kind of going up and down, in and out from place to place. But if I can pull up the OBS up from upstate New York to see, maybe I can probably do it that way. And all right, so Binghamton right now is 62, Cortland 61, Elmira is 51, Seneca Falls 46, Ithaca is 62, Monticello is 63, Rome is 49, Syracuse is 49. So you can see that where that warm front is, it's pushed up a little bit further to the north than where it was at 5 o'clock this afternoon. So making a bit of progress. Is New Jersey getting by 70? Stephen White. Some of those thunderstorms, as they move into western New Jersey, could be severe. So could there be gusts to 60 or more? Sure. It is possible. Now, the question is whether they hold together during the overnight. A number of the numerical models seem to hold that second line together And so I think the confidence on that is high. Eastern Jersey might be a different story because of the fact that that wind off the ocean right now is cooling and stabilizing the bottom of the atmosphere. So it'll be a matter of whether that marine layer does get out of the way or not. Um, I doubt that there's hail and sleet in Queens at the moment, Darth. Okay. Uh, is Tuesday going to be a good travel day to fly out of LaGuardia? I think it should be. Might be a little bit breezy in the morning, but yeah, you should be fine. You should be absolutely fine, David Schwartz, in getting out there. James NASCAR, you're sitting in a marine layer in North Belmore with a temperature of 56. Jimmy Z in New Jersey is 62. So you're right on the edge because Newark is in the marine layer, but Teterboro is not. You're literally sitting right on the edge. If you go take a walk out west to 280 or drive out west near where 287 is, you're probably going to find the temperatures jump up about um, 5 or 6 degrees. So the key, Diodan Kumar, is that marine layer on the coast and whether it gets out of the way and whether that line winds up starting to fall apart as it nears the coastline. Lord Kate, nice to see you on board. Javon, you're in Andover, Maryland. I'm sorry, Andover, Massachusetts. I'm sorry. And you originally asked the question. I'm just trying to go back here to what your original point was. Are they going to get some thunder possible later tonight into tomorrow morning, and then another round mid-afternoon? Let me just take a look. Okay. And we'll bring up, just take a look at this. Well, you do have another couple of showers that roll through around midday. I don't think that those are going to be thunderstorms. You're already going to be in the cooler air with the northwest winds. But that first line does roll through for the overnight. I'm sorry, tomorrow morning, probably around 8 a.m. And actually, the regular NAM, kind of weakens that up your way. The NAM 3. I'm going to just get a little closer. These cells are so small sometimes it's hard to see. The NAM 3 holds it together a bit more as they move those storms across Massachusetts. By 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, they're offshore, and then you get the second area early tomorrow afternoon. There's almost a little second cold front that's coming through. So yeah, maybe it gets a little convective. I stand corrected. It might get a little convective there by midday or early afternoon. You get a little bit of daytime heating with the upper trough as it swings on by. So it's not impossible, not at all impossible. 46 for Amy Hogan in Harpswell, Maine. That's nice, very nice. You got to melt your snow away. All right, Silvio Balzano, nice to see you on board. Yeah, you're up in the warm air, so if you're White Plains and North, you're at 61. It's doubtful that the marine air gets up your way. David Schwartz not flying till the afternoon, and it's not raining or doing anything in Queens. So yeah, you're fine. Yeah, he's just breaking chops. My number. Oh, thank you, Javon Perry. Really, really appreciate your kind words. Okay, folks, just going to wrap it up here at this point. Thanks for being here tonight. 2 live streams today. We haven't done that in a while. But with all the severe weather going on, I thought it was really worth jumping on one more time. I'll be probably doing a live, I may do a live update on Facebook in a little while. So if you want to jump on my Facebook page, Meteorologist Joe Chaffee, do so. If I decide not to do it, I'll probably do put some other stuff up, and I'll be keeping an eye in case the SPC decides to throw up a severe thunderstorm watch or push the tornado watch further to the east between now and midnight. I'll stay up a little later than usual tonight to get things going. Okay, so please be safe if you are traveling this evening. Make sure you're paying extra attention to the weather anywhere up and down the East Coast with what's going on. And tomorrow morning for the morning commute, it's going to be a lot of fun in New York City. Philadelphia will get it a little bit earlier, but in New York City for the morning commute and areas nearby, northern New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, southern New England, It's all of this is going to be passing through as you are headed out the door for work. So be extra cautious and make sure you give the weather an extra check tomorrow morning before you head out the door. Have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see you later or tomorrow.